Nobody wants to use them little bit of hours you got to treat.
Yeah.
You want to kind of now go back into the world, go to a Walmart, be with your family, sit down and eat a dinner, or do this and feel like you're normal. Wednesday is full pass. Thursday is full pass. Friday is helmet and shoulder pass. Saturday you travel. Sunday you hitting the game again. Then it's Monday back. So your body is tired. So a lot of guys, man, see my second year, you know, I had did some other things, but my second year, I had this form of depression where I locked myself in a room for 2 weeks. I had everything to be happy about when Devon was born. When she was born, we were living in Hebron, Kentucky, and I just didn't want to come out the room for like 2 weeks. No, really, like I didn't have no taste of it. That was my first understanding that that's called depression.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was scared to tell the doctor, Dr. Cooper, the team doctor, because I thought they would cut me. I thought I was going crazy. He said, Jevon, he put me in the office. He said, Jevon, don't ever deprive yourself of your mental for this game. He said, 90-some% of the guys you playing with, they're taking this. And he gave me Zoloft.
I remember that.
Okay?
Yeah.
He gave me Zoloft. I took myself, I'm not bragging on myself, that's how powerful my mind. I took myself off of that by about 2 months. I ain't struggled with none of that ever since then. Once you told me what that was, then I have to wrestle with myself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't depressed. What the hell I got to be depressed about? But the strain on the people don't understand what your body's going through that regimen for 6 months, and people think you have an off season, Laylo. Like, man, you got to get in shape. You ain't working that hard, but you better be working and working and working. So you got a thing that's ongoing for years and years and years, and you got to find the best potion, whatever it is, to be on the same level or better than what you left at last year, so you can keep making your job. Because people forget, you got another 21-year-old coming out every year, challenging you.
They want
So
your
how-
spot.
They want your
They want your spot. Yeah.
So, you know, when I got on that stuff, man, I said, man, I don't feel normal and stuff. So I took myself off of it. But Dr. Cooper said, the strain your body goes through, it makes your serotonin levels in your brain deplete. See, this is all the scientific stuff they don't tell you. That's like the concussion kids we're going through.
Yeah.
There's so many things mentally that comes involved with that sport. And you got some guys, I mean, you see they can't take it. They blow their brains out there. We've been reading.
They can't
You know?
take it.
So that's why when we started this thing, Laylo, talking, the power of the mind, man.
And I've always told all my athletes that I deal with, you know, mainly in boxing, but I did have a real good connection with the Bronco people back in them days, and we talked quite a bit. But I've always told my athletes, legends and champions are the athletes that understand the game.
They understand.
It's just not by going on the field and playing.
No.
It's
Everybody can do that.
It's understanding the game, and that's true. And that's true in any professional
I
sport.
like it when you say understanding the game, but it's not one game. It's the game of life.
It's the game.
Because when we leave this room here, it's things you got to process quick.
It's
You may walk out the door and the dude looking at you, you got to determine real quick, depending on where you at, man. This dude coming to rob the place where it's the game.
It's the game.
And you can't sleep on it.
It's the game. You have to understand the game, and that's the difference. That's the difference. A lot of folks, and it makes it a little more difficult in the game of boxing. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why, because anyone can become a professional. Anything in boxing. That's how hard that sport is. And the only reason it's still, and it always will be active, is because the money it draws, okay?
In boxing?
In boxing, I'm talking boxing, and because that's what I know, okay? But what I'm saying is,
But what sucks is it's so easy for people to consider themselves a pro.
that's what I'm
why
saying.
They haven't really understood what it takes within themselves to treat themselves and the sport like a professional.
that you just took the words out of my, you want to become a professional boxer, you know what you have to do? Raise your hand. And you're a professional boxer.
Yeah.
You want to become a professional coach in boxing?
Oh,
What
man.
do you do? Raise your
Yeah,
hand.
yeah.
You're a professional.
Ain't
You know
paid
what
no
you do?
dues.
You pay the state $35 to get your license, and you're a professional. There's no prerequisites. There's nothing that an athlete has to go through and live through
Exactly.
to prove themselves. They can become a professional athlete, a boxer, okay? And that's why there's so many professional boxers out there that get hurt in the
They
game.
get hurt.
Okay,
They've
because
been lied to. People live through them. You know,
Right.
some of these fake coaches. I mean, you don't have the Manny Stewarts. You don't.
You don't.
You know the Eddie Futches and them people that loved it.
How many times have we talked, just you and I sitting
Yeah.
down and say, Jevon, I'm not a coach.
No, you're not.
I'm not a coach. A coach is a person that trains a team.
Yeah.
Okay? Where they can get everyone to do the same thing, same exercise. It's a coach. That's a coach. I'm a trainer.
Right.
Okay? A trainer has to have the ability to train an individual athlete to his strengths and build his weaknesses.
That's
because
right.
they're all different.
That's
Okay?
right.
So we talk about that. That's why you have so much success in this sport of boxing. Because you have done all the prerequisites of an athlete to understand the game and what has to be done to be successful, to succeed in this game. I mean, how many football players and other pro athletes that try to venture into pro boxing only to find out that they can't? And since we're talking about the Cincinnati, let's go on and talk, because we want to kind of squeeze in as much as we can into this segment. Tell me about the differences in the boxing training when you first started. And then incidentally, I met you through Peter, because me and Peter Schaefer were partners in the golf course. Okay, we ran the Denver City Park Golf Course. Okay,
Right.
for years we ran it. We were partners in that. So I had the opportunity of meeting a lot of athletes because he was an agent for a lot of athletes. I played golf with Barry Sanders, with Atwater. They just kept coming from every team, and everyone that he represented, they'd come and they'd play golf. So that's how I met you.
Yeah.
Okay, and
you had that heavy bag up in the room.
And I had
and like I said from the beginning, I've always loved boxing.
You did.
I've always loved boxing.
You always
it
loved
challenges me, and I loved it. And at the end of the day, I wanted my father to be proud of me and of something, and that's why I was going to choose. But it's like I lived with that for a long time. Like I let him down because I didn't pursue the boxing. But that was another thing that I can at least say, man, I made it in football. That made me. He was happy as hell. He didn't know nothing about football neither. It wasn't no going to the backyard catching, but he started believing as he seen me having write-ups as high school, college. That's my son. That's my son. But, I looked at it as that's where I can get the money quick. You calculate it like this. You're in high school. 3 years from then, you have an opportunity to be a millionaire.
Right.
Okay?
Reality.
You see how fast that works? You would just sit there eating hot pocket or something lunchtime with lunch kids sitting around, okay, eating the lunch at school. And next thing you know, you can have a restaurant yourself. Yeah. It happens that fast, and you got to have the mental stability to kind of go with it. Like I said, a lot of it, man, I got to just give thanks to God in it, because I don't. When I look back at this, it is a unique story. I don't think it's so unique, but if I had the time, it may take one day. That's why one day has to be with a biographer, autobiographer. You sit down and give it to them, and they place it how it needs to be placed. Because, like I said, we're not scripted. This is off the record, but it's a lot of people that's gonna have questions. Because I bounce here, bounce here, bounce. There's a lot of gaps.
Right.
Okay,
right.
but then it picks back up again somewhere.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But it's all stored.
Well,
so,
you know, to the people out there, boxing's in this man's blood.
Yeah.
Okay, it's in his blood, and I can tell you, because when we first started training in that upstairs at the golf course and hitting the bag, when you came up there just to hit the bag, it actually just started as a way to stay in shape in off season.
No, I didn't.
Well, it was in your blood.
But that's what I was gonna say. This is what I was gonna say. A lot of football players, they come to play boxing. Every sport you play, we know this. Boxing you don't play because it's like a street fight. How many people walk around saying, "I love to fight," and go in Walmart and just start trying to fight people?
Yeah.
They don't do that. So you're dealing with, it's a lot of courage you gotta have, man. It has to be real courage. You can't be no fake shit. Just want to entertain the fans, okay? Because how do you act when you face adversity? That's the true you that's being on display. So now, I've always made this known. I've never said that I want to come over and use boxing for a workout to enhance my football. I took that as secondary, but I've always wanted to box, and I wanted to be a professional boxer.
Yes.
Okay, so that way of getting to the pro, like when I really understood what it took me in football, I'm like, man, this shit's a joke how many people talk about they pros in boxing. You know what I mean? So when I first came, so when you saw me hit the bag a couple times, pow, and then when I saw that bag sitting there, he said, man, he said, you boxed before? That's when we had our introduction.
Exactly.
So we talked, and I said, you know what, Lalo? this type of dude I am. I got a family. They lived in Cincinnati. Lalo say you would. It's hard for anybody to believe that.
Yeah.
I already had my money. I already had what. So that lets you know I wasn't seeking money.
Yeah.
I love boxing. I can work out. I train myself all the time. I was in shape like Mo when you saw me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
football was easy. I could ride a bike 50 miles per day. That was my training. No running. I ride a bike, keep the pound up, and I go hit my weights. You know, I had the gym set up, things. But when I came here, you know, when I hit that bag, and it was something about, this is my chance now to go back and do what the hell I want to do. Football, I never loved football, bro. That's why I didn't go as long as I'm going to tell you something, man. If I put my mind to it, I'll go as long as I want to go in something.
Yeah.
Okay? But the football, I didn't love it. And those are the guys that last long, you'll see they love it.
They love it, yeah.
So when I hit that bag and you say, hey man, you come on down and this, that. See, Pete was out of the pitch out of that. Then me and you became understand because this is something I got to take a leap of faith, Lalo. People don't understand this. No. Even you want to understand that. Here, I'm getting ready to leave. So when I talk to you, that's when I first, even to this day, I live back. This is my family, man, because I know how I am and I know how they are. So when I see people take me in their home, I came and live. I left my wife and kid, 2 kids at the time. I had 2. Mm-hmm. And I told them next off season, baby, I'm going boxing. Yeah. And people looked at me like I was crazy. Do you know in the pros it's conflict of interest?
Yes.
I love boxing so much. I said to hell with the Bengals, I'm going to box. And people wrote up and called me stupid. The reporters there. And when I got back off season, I said, man, I read what you wrote. You know, because that's their game to play friendly with.
Sure they do.
You gonna leave this 6-figure thing here to go do something you don't know what you can do? But that's the type of man I am, man. I live on the edge. Just like when people call me crazy because I picked up and just went to Africa by myself. I bought a homestead last year, but we'll get on that. So when I met him, he said, yeah, you think you can come down for 6 months? We didn't even say 6 months. No, we didn't even have a time on it. I just know I gave my off season that I went and did Disneyland or whatever it was with my kids for like two weeks. I said, I'm going to take 2 weeks with them, lay low. Yeah. I'm all yours. I'm coming down.
And you did.
I came with one big duffel bag. Like I said, I don't care about clothes. And I banged out. We work. He knew that I wasn't ready. Because football shape, I can run all day and do all that. Boxing, shh. So we put the time in. That's why it equated out to 6 months, because it took me like 4 months to get in real good shape. I mean, I went home one time, and my wife even looked at me like, man, what the hell? Man, I got so damn ripped all up. Man, I was dieting. I was eating. I ate oatmeal for like fucking 3 months. Oh, I mean, I just went into it, man, because I was afraid that I would lose my first fight, because I knew I got to prove everybody wrong. So I threw myself in it. I was in a tunnel vision, man. I didn't hang around nobody. That was easy. But we ended up being there 6 months. We got 2 fights out of it. But when he took me down to spar, actually, the first time he ever took me to spar, I got my taste of this here. Because, everything was gone. Timing gone, everything. He took me out into this kid about 17 years old. Was it Thornton? Yep. This kid was y'all do the same thing. I wish the black fathers do more like what the Mexicans do. They whip their son. So this guy, it was his son. You know what I mean? That's what you see a lot of y'all in boxing. Y'all always with y'all kids, calling yourself coaches and shit. So, but, man, that kid kicked my ass, man. You hear what I'm saying? He kicked my ass. See, my thing is I get tired. I got tired because now you gotta understand how to use and exert your end. So I got that kid and his father over there, yeah, that's that. So I looked at Laylo, that's my chance to go back home, bro. I got money at home. Yeah. This man will tell you I ain't never walk away from none of that shit. None of it. Because in my mind when I go home, I say, man, I bit off something I got to complete. See, I still live with this today, man. A lot of things I ain't complete. Some people look and say, man, Jevon, I'll die always saying certain things that I think I'll never have a completion of nothing. But I mean that comfortability. So we got done that one. He didn't say anything, but I know I call you coach, man. Yeah. Okay, I know you don't like it.
Terminology.
That's why I probably
that's
do it
fine.
anyway.
Everyone does that. It's terminology. I don't have a problem.
But a good coach will see certain things, but they don't always have to tell you. So he didn't say nothing. So we went about maybe a couple more months. Then he took me down to this makeshift gym. We down in the dark. Louis Monaco come out. You know. So
Monaco, he's
the
a
first
beast
day,
boy.
he the one knocked out Buster Douglas.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Wild guy, but he caught me, man.
Let's-
And all y'all probably, they all thought that he knocked me, that I was gonna fall. He stung the hell out of me, man. So, you know, pow!
I remember that.
Then we
like
kept
it was
going,
yesterday.
and then they gonna look at him tomorrow. That's enough. Then Lalo said, that's enough for the day.
Yeah, I do that.
They
I
took
do
me
that.
back down there the next day.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay, we're gonna take a little break because it gets interesting now.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into interesting stuff
Yeah.
and facts of life. Okay, so let's take a little quick break so they can so we can kind of get our water, get whatever we're gonna do, and we'll be back and we're gonna start on Jevon's boxing career.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be real good. So take a little break and we'll be right back.